Hi students, Miss Jones here again for the final installment on how to create a pinch pot monster. In the last video, which did get cut short at the end, we were working on making a pinch pot and just practicing the pinching technique and the rotating, as well as adding water to heal any cracks. So if you haven't done that, or if it didn't work out the first time, remember, practice makes perfect. You've got to maybe spend a little bit more time working through that process if it didn't go as planned. As I mentioned before, making a pinch pot does require a bit of practice. So don't give up on it. Just make a new plan and try your art again. Okay. So if you do have a pinch pot that's pinky thick all the way around, that was another thing that we talked about, then you are going to be ready to start creating your monster. Now you will have a sketch of some sort. So one of the assignments in Canvas is to come up with a drawing for your pinch pot. You're going to be required to have a certain number of body parts that you will actually be building and adding on to the monster. So I'm going to show you some different ways to build body parts, but ultimately you are the artist, and it's up to you to decide what the overall monster is going to look like. Remember, the pinch pot can open in a variety of ways. So the bottom could be open, the front could be open, or even the top could be the opening. So 3 different ways to build and design, and then there's hundreds of different ways to decorate with the different features. I traditionally like to build my pinch pot with this being the mouth and the opening. And one of the first things that I usually do is I kind of like to shape the mouth. So I will pinch the sides sometimes because I kind of like these fun fish-looking mouths. And I will just kind of work the mouth into this kind of fun, looks like a fish mouth shape. Now, when I did that, the clay did crack a little bit. So as you are shaping or molding the clay, if you see any cracks, you need to get in there and smooth those out with your water. Sorry, with your water and your sponge. So I just spent a few minutes smoothing out those edges because I noticed they were cracking a little bit, but not so much. I think I'm still probably pretty good here. Okay, so I'm just going to start by kind of changing the shape of the pinch pot itself. Some people like to have a little flat bottom on their pinch pot, especially if it opens upward. You could tap it on the table. So you could do something like that. That'll also help it to stand a little bit better if it opens that way, or if you want to kind of square it up a little bit. So you can change the overall shape of the pinch pot before you start adding your body parts. All right, so let's talk about some different hand building techniques. There's a couple different things I'm going to show here. One of which is called coil, and the other is called slab. Sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second. So coil and slab, okay? Now I'm using that other piece of clay. I've already wedged it, so I'm just gonna cube it. Always good to start with just kind of a cube shape. And the first thing that I'm gonna show you is how to roll a slab, okay? A slab is a flat piece of clay. Now I have these 2 things out called dowels. Now I don't expect you to have dowels at your house, but what the dowels do is they create an even thickness when I roll the slab out, because I'm basically going to be taking a rolling pin, which if you have a rolling pin at home, that would be a perfect tool to use for this. Or if you don't have a rolling pin, a water bottle will even do. Most of us have water bottles. You do want one that's pretty solid in shape. You could use a piece of PVC piping possibly as well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll out this chunk of clay, and the dowels are gonna be underneath my roller to keep it from getting too thin, because remember we talked about pinky thick. These are 1/4 inch dowels, so they're right about pinky thick, and that's why I'm using them. Now I'm gonna stand up when I do this, and I'm just gonna rock this rolling pin back and forth. And then I'm gonna flip the clay over, and I'm going to change direction so it grows longer rather than taller, or wider rather than taller. And I'm going to roll in the other direction. I'm going to flip it over again, kind of like a pancake, and roll again. And it's going to get to a point where I can't roll it out anymore because now it's just rolling on top of the dowels rather than on top of the canvas itself. And you can see the dowel and the slab are about the same size. So you don't really want to go any thinner than that. If you don't have any dowels at home, just make sure you don't roll it out really any thinner than your pinky, otherwise it'll be too fragile. Now with the rolling pin or with the slab, I am going to cut out some shapes. So maybe I want to do something where this creature has like a fish fin on its back. Maybe this is like a fish monster, okay? Here in class, I told you guys you can use these cutting tools, these wooden cutting tools, but you may not have that at home. So you could just use a knife for this. So I'm just gonna demonstrate with a knife. And I'm just gonna start by kind of cutting out what I think an interesting fin shape might look like. Maybe it's like a shark. So I just kind of put my pinch pot up to it so I could measure the size of it. And you'll see I just cut out a really nice thin shape that looks like a fin. I'm going to take some water here and kind of smooth out the edges. Clean it up a little bit. You don't want to have any crumbs or any sharp edges. Remember, this thing eventually will dry and it will get fired, and you don't want it to be unpleasant to touch. So you want to make sure everything's nice and smooth. So I've smoothed out my fin. Now I have to attach. All right, I can't just take the clay and just stick it on like that because it will fall off, right? And so there's a proper technique for attaching clay. It's called, let's lay this down in front of you, the score, slip, stick, and smooth method. Scoring is roughing up the clay before you attach pieces together. Slip is creating a slippery, muddy surface, kind of like a glue where the two pieces will attach. You stick the piece on after you slip, and you apply pressure when you do that, and then you're gonna smooth it out so it all looks like one piece. So let's see what that looks like with my little fish monster here. I did mention that you could use a fork for scoring, and since I'm gonna be putting this fin right on top of the head, I'm gonna use the fork to create some rough lines here where my fin will attach to. Now, when I score on one piece of clay, I must also score on the other. So you do it to both pieces of clay that are going to be sticking to each other. Think of it kind of like Velcro. You're roughing up the surface so that these two pieces will stick together. That's called scoring. The next step is slipping, right? Now, if you're at home, you're not gonna have some homemade, or you're not gonna have slip like we have here in class. So this is where you can just use water. If you just take a little bit of water and just put it on top of those scored areas, it's gonna turn muddy and it's going to get stickier. So again, I'm just taking a little bit of water, putting it on those scored areas. That's my slip. And now I'm going to stick. And when I stick it on, you can see it, my hand is inside and I am supporting the area that I'm sticking so it's not collapsing on me, right? So that's on there pretty good, but it's still pretty wobbly, right? We want that to be attached a lot more securely. So this is where we get into smoothing, okay? And then you could use different tools for this. We have this little wooden tool here in class, which I really like to use, but you could also use a spoon for smoothing. So I'm just gonna show you what that would look like with a spoon. If I were using a spoon, I would just use the back side of the spoon and kind of the end of it. And what I'm doing here is I am swiping clay from the fin down onto the body. And I'm trying to create a connection between those two slabs. Notice here on this side, I haven't done that. And so you can see there's like a line between the two. I want that to go away. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. You could also do this with a popsicle stick. That would work really well for your smoothing. I'm gonna hit it here in the front too, okay? And then I've gotta clean it up because it's kind of a mess right now, right? There's lots of stuff going on there, lots of chunky, yucky little bits. So I'm gonna take my sponge and smooth out all those rough bits. And then I'm even gonna take my finger and do more smoothing. And just kind of work those two pieces so they start to look more like one. Blending and really working on that connection between the two. So that is a basic way to build a slab shape and then attach it to your sculpture. I could build fins this way, I could build a tail this way. Anything really that's flat can be built and cut from a slab. That's about 10 minutes worth of time, so I'm gonna stop the video here. If you're not attaching properly, just be forewarned that your pieces will fall off. So practicing this method, you might wanna just practice with a couple scrap pieces of clay first and see if you can get them to attach and blend together before you start putting your body parts on your creature. Okay, there'll be one more video in this series where I'm gonna show a coil. I just don't want this to run too long. So thanks for being patient. Watch one more.